All right, starting
Well, wait,
podcast. Wait,
wait,
Adrian, ready?
you
At the
use the
countdown.
host by you. I didn't introduce you, right?
And well, yeah, I didn't start yet.
Let him talk.
Okay. All right, so you gotta do the countdown. Starting podcast in three, two, one. Okay, welcome back to the podcast, featuring two guests today for the first time. No, wait, two guests
Boom.
online for the first time.
Yes, I was
The
with that
returning
tree
guests,
one.
Matt and JonT.
In
The usual style of the podcast is to have no plan, but we need to get the podcast done this week. So we do have a few ideas, and JonT had proposed investment. I know Matt wanted to talk about. You know what? Matt could do investment too. Matt
I
is
could do
a different
investment.
type of investment. Yeah.
Nice accountant. That's like
well,
a qualified
Yeah.
accountant.
so we could talk about current issues in investment. So
Oh, wow.
Charlie Munger dead by
I
Yeah,
don't know
he
who that
did.
is.
He lived to
all you know
99.
Wait.
He
How is
used to,
that
all
an
you know who
investment problem? We don't care. It doesn't
that's
affect
a
us, right?
massive investment that's a massive investment problem, boy.
How?
You know, so you know Charlie Munger is, right?
No way. Who that?
yeah,
Eh, all right.
Who that?
So Charlie Munger
Uh-huh.
is Warren Buffett. Okay, you know who Warren Buffett is, right?
Mm-hmm,
Right.
mm-hmm.
Right. So he's Warren Buffett right hand man.
Okay.
So basically
Here's a
all the
was.
so as you know, Warren Buffett is probably the most successful investor ever. So he started off just looking at like companies and seeing if they're doing good business. And if they were doing good business, he buy the companies and basically make them better, make them more profitable. And to find the good businesses, Charlie Munger was the man who used to advise him. Charlie Munger used to go and do all the research for him, and he basically used to tell Warren, hey, buy Warren, buy, let me buy this company, buy, and
Okay.
right, buy. That's why Charlie Munger
Okay,
important
yeah,
as a
okay.
current
It's
investor.
important. It's important to Warren Buffett, but how is it important to us as just
Because
regular people?
that mean he no longer around to advise Warren Buffett. So you know the company, you know which company Warren Buffett have, Berkshire Hathaway, right?
Mhm.
Uh, well, I know in America they might be saying Berkshire. Anyway, Berkshire, it don't matter.
How do you
Um,
pronounce it? Berkshire.
well, it depends. So I live in, they would say Berkshire, but in America they might say
So,
Berkshire,
so you're saying the Hobbit
because
live in the show?
Americans would say Shire for anything like
Amat?
that, like
The Hobbits live in the
Worcestershire
show? In the Shah?
and the Shire. So
The
yeah,
really man,
hobbits
the
live in the
really
Shire,
man
by.
plot, the really man point there. Okay, yes,
Yeah,
anyways,
hobbits live in the Shire,
continue.
by. You sure? So Berkshire Hathaway is basically the large. It's not the biggest company, but it's probably the largest um company of that type. So they're an insurance company, but they buy up all these other companies because they're good investments, and they're probably the most successful company like that. So I probably making up these figures because I don't know the actual figures, but basically if you had invest like $1,000 into Berkshire Hathaway in the 1960s, that would literally be worth millions of dollars today, which
Okay.
beat back inflation by a lot.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
60 is a long time ago, so it's a long-term investment.
basically, if your grandfather had bought $1,000 with a shares for in Berkshire Hathaway, you're set for life.
Well, yeah, but
I will all look it up.
we
One
concerned about
thousand
what we can
dollars
do. We don't
Berkshire
have that.
Hathaway
basically, the
in
man lived to 99, right?
1967.
Uh-huh.
Never exercised. I used to drink Diet Coke constantly.
Oh, maybe a lesson to be learned from that.
I mean,
He don't drink Diet Coke, he drink normal Coke.
does he?
He drink
Bad
normal Coke,
headline
right?
somewhere. I mean,
Right. Hey, look, so I was right. So $1,000 in Berkshire Hathaway in the 60s would have been worth 26 million, and that was in 2019. So that's 4 years ago. So that we would more now. So see, more
Okay.
successful investor. So
So
without
so
Charlie Munger, Without Charlie Munger, that company dead by.
So
Even
you
though he was
hold
99, that company dead
Berkshire.
by.
You hold any Berkshire stonks?
Nah, I never buy it because
Too late.
one share, one share of Berkshire Hathaway stock is about 500,000 US per share, I think.
Huh?
One share of BRKA. Let's see that.
That,
$543,000
but then you have to buy
for one
fractional.
share.
You could buy
For one
fractional
share.
shares, right?
You could
Okay.
buy fractional shares, yeah, but I don't know. I do Tish. I did mine with Berkshire Hathaway.
Okay. So we need to move away. Like we say, this person died, but none of us have any shares in it, and none of us could buy shares in it, so it doesn't impact us, right? So I assume that you have some investments that feasible. I have some advice to not follow unless you want to make 10K losses plus,
Crypto.
you know.
Crypto.
And probably NFCs, NFC,
Ooh.
NFTs, babe. You don't know what
NFT.
to.
NFT is the
Or like
NFT
what?
we have done.
Or like what column embed there?
Call him embed what? Dead?
So column embed. You say that cryptocurrency illegal in Trinidad.
Oh, I thought you say he dead.
Is it?
I don't know what I mean though.
He probably mean it's just not regulated. It's not regulated in most places, right?
Mhm. Yeah, but he used the word illegal, which is strange.
So, does anybody have an experience with crypto? Maybe JonT?
No.
I don't like the
Not
idea of
really.
crypto.
Be right back.
Not really. Matt probably know more about crypto than me.
Yeah, I don't know that much, and I think it high risk.
And Matt is gone.
Yeah, he's be right back.
I don't know much about crypto because
yeah,
I don't even understand the whole blockchain concept behind it and solving equations to make something that
well,
worth that that have tangible value. That not making
I
any
don't think
sense
it's
to me. But
tangible, but on a very basic level, I understand how it works. But I know that they had plenty coins that were just what they call pump and dump. So people just pump it, the value went up, and then they sold it when the price went up, and they made millions, and just left the coin. So people who held the coin lost all their money.
who's that?
So it had a lot of scammers behind that.
That's the one. That's the one you invest in.
I didn't invest in any, thankfully. Crypto, the less popular ones. So probably like, you know what? I don't want to say any names because I'm not sure. But I know that there are plenty pump and dump coins. I would watch.
I don't
I've
have any.
seen some videos on made by CoffeeZilla on scammers, crypto scammers.
I don't have any experience with crypto. I mean, after dabbling and investing for like some years, I kind of realized the safest way to invest is through not index. It don't have to be index funds, but like, well, it'll be indices, yeah.
Like an ETF.
So you invest in an index. Probably the best one is a US total stock market index. You can invest in an entire global index because then you're kind of guaranteed that the economy going to keep growing regardless, even if it have small crashes here and there. Investing in an index kind of guarantees a positive return over the long term.
So what is your exchange that you have to use? Exchange and
see,
broker.
I use Vanguard because
But
Vanguard is probably the pioneer behind all these indices and clumping. So they basically clump together all the big companies into funds. So you just have to invest as much as you want to get a bite of the whole pie, piece of the whole pie. So Vanguard basically is the most well-known. It was started by a guy. I don't know if you know about Jack Bogle
You know
and
these people,
the
boy.
theory. You know about Jack Bogle?
No, boy. But I don't need
No.
to
All right,
know.
so
I don't
Jack
need to
Bogle.
know. I don't need a history lesson. I just need to know how it works.
So Jack Bogle was
You can give me a history lesson,
essentially
yes?
the first guy to say, unless you dedicating a lot of your time to researching these companies and the business behind the companies, just buy an index. Buy an index fund and just leave your money there because it will grow regardless.
Mhm.
It will
Yeah,
grow. So
that makes sense.
just leave it in the index.
So the exchange in the UK is FTSE.
Yeah, but I don't really invest with that. As so yeah, well they call it FTSE,
Yeah, the FTSE. Matt say that.
FTSE FTSE.
I know, but I need to explain to the viewers who don't know what. You can't just say FTSE.
Yeah, FTSE. So you
You
invest
can say
so you
that.
can invest in the FTSE.
So you don't
But the
do that. You do it through the US, I guess.
Well, I don't do it through the US. Is like Vanguard have a US based company, but they have a UK platform. So, but I use their platform to invest in US based equities. So I just buy US based indices. So
Yep.
you might hear about the S&P Standard and Poor
Yeah.
500.
Yeah.
So that's basically the 500 biggest companies
Right.
that
In the
traded
US.
on the US stock exchange, yeah,
But are
on their
the New
various
York
stock
Stock
exchanges.
Exchange, right?
It could be Nasdaq too. Could be any of their stock exchanges, I think. I'm not sure. It'll have to be a New York Stock Exchange. Um, but essentially S&P 500 is those top 500 companies by market capitalization. And
Right.
essentially you just buy a piece of this. So this index, this essentially buy equal amounts proportionally from the S&P 500, depending on how heavily weighted each company is in the S&P 500.
Mhm.
They buy it proportionally, and then you just get a little chunks, you get a little piece, and then
Right.
you leave your money there. And if you do that over decades, now obviously everybody is say past returns do guarantee future success.
Mhm.
But looking back at the last century, for every say 30-year period, no matter which 30-year period you look at, if you left your money in the S&P 500 buying it slowly over a 30-year period, you would have gotten at least a 7 to 10% annualized return.
Right. On average.
7 to 10. So 7% is the goal for anybody investing. And it's you want to try and get so all scams are telling you you get 5% a week. If you
Mhm.
invest with us, that's obviously a scam because anything that is above 7% is incredible in terms of investing. It's just incredible.
Yeah. You ever try mutual funds?
Mutual funds, no, because
Managed
the
funds.
disadvantage with mutual funds is you paying with the funds I invest with they called ETFs, exchange traded funds. So they fully automated. You're not paying a manager or account manager or anything. You're paying a very small fee to use the platform. It'll be like 0.2% or 0.35%, something like that per year. With a mutual fund, because you're actually paying people to actively manage and invest your money, you end up paying 2 to 3% of your money
Yeah.
per year to invest in a mutual fund. And mutual funds, the majority of them still
Don't beat the
underperform
index.
the market.
Yeah.
Gross majority of mutual funds underperform the market. So you're better off just putting your money in the index.
So if a person in the UK wants to invest in the way you do, right? They don't do it through the
Hmm.
FTSE, they do it directly through Vanguard.
Well, they have multiple platforms they could do it through. I just choose to do it through Vanguard.
Okay, because I use the Toronto Stock Exchange, and
Yeah.
I use two platforms, TD and Wealthsimple, but they do it through the Toronto Stock Exchange, right? So I have the brokers who are TD and Wealthsimple,
It-
but
This
put
call this
all
call they call the Toronto Stock Exchange TC. TC?
T TSX,
TC? T6?
TSX, I guess. I don't know if they have.
T6?
I don't know if there's a. a shortened way to
Okay.
say it, but
So you invest in them through TD, bank TD.
it's really bank, but the problem with the bank is that you have to pay um, a fee for every transaction you conduct. So if you buy or sell, it costs $9.99, $9.99 Canadian, which is high for every transaction you do.
That's interesting.
Simple has none. So has that advantage. So you can just buy like small amounts of some stonks or something. But the TSX is not performing that well right now. I guess the US. So the ETF that you mentioned, you say S&P for 500 for the US. There's like a similar one for Canada, but it won't be 500. I don't think we have that many companies that will fit into that, or maybe they do. Anyway, but it's a
Yeah, we have a
similar
similar thing
S&P.
too. We have they call it the FTSE 100
Okay.
and have the FTSE 250 too, I think.
This is all real terms. Eh?
Yeah, real stuff. So basically you would invest in ETFs through bank, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I dabble with investing in individual companies and like
Risk.
it don't make sense
Unless
unless
you do
you
that full
actually
time.
have. Because once you put all your eggs in that basket could break, right?
Yes.
Because
What
anything could
about
happen to, because
what
the
about
company could get
if Vanguard flop, right? What would happen to
Vanguard
people
can't
who
flop, boy. If Vanguard flop, the world economy go flop.
Okay.
Vanguard cannot flop.
And so when you invest, right, do you have different types of accounts that you could hold your securities or investments in, whatever you call it? Like a
Yeah,
tax
yeah.
sheltered
So
accounts in the UK.
yeah, that's exactly what I have it in. It's called ISA in the UK. Because I know they have a different name for it in the US. I don't know. I don't know. Canada probably have it, but we call it a
Yeah.
ISA individual savings account.
Canada
And you
has
basically
they have
allowed
limits.
up to £20,000 and you could put up to £20,000 per year in that account. And
Hmm.
any gains you make in that account, the safe from tax free. So no matter how
20,000 a
much gains you
year.
make on
$1
20,000 per
million.
year into the
And what
ISA,
makes you eligible to open one? Being a resident?
just being a resident, or just being tax resident. So you don't have to
Yeah.
even be a permanent resident. You just be tax resident, which means you're living here for more than 6 months.
And if you leave, what would happen? No longer
If
eligible?
you leave and you no longer UK tax resident, they'll shut down the account. They'll shut it down.
Okay, because that's a big limit. Because in Canada, it's usually like 5 or 6 thousand a year.
Yeah, it is a big limit. It was introduced some years back to encourage people to start investing their money instead of just leaving it in the bank.
Okay. What
Because
other?
the UK don't really have that kind of mindset that America and I guess and maybe Canada does, where a lot of individual people tend to invest their money. Most people here would just not
Fuck
invest
it
it
up.
that way.
What about a high interest savings account? We have something like that, where you just get interest on savings.
Well, remember, until very recently, most savings accounts were very, very, even the high interest ones was in the point something
Right.
decimal percentage
Mm-hmm.
because all the regulatory bank interest rates were low or even close to negative until the pandemic. And now that so we didn't have high interest rate bank accounts. I don't know if you all had before the pandemic, but only now that interest rates high, most banks offering a interest rate at probably somewhere between 0.75 to 1% less than the Bank of England interest rate. So
Which is
you have high interest rate accounts now.
about how much percentage?
Well, 4.5, 4.75% you can get interest
Yeah.
rates.
Okay. So in Canada, you could get similar things. It varies, but like let's say between 4 to maybe 6%, maybe a little bit less, probably not more than that, but you could
So
get it for
tell tell me about these NFTs and how much money I lost now, eh?
oh, thankfully none. I didn't buy any NFTs. I didn't buy any crypto. Um, some
Right?
stonks down
Wheat
generally.
stonks or
No. In Canada, the biggest things you can invest in would be oil and gas companies and banking, and maybe a few others like, I don't know, insurance or something. But generally,
So you
everything is
still
down. So
Boring thing.
so
yeah,
you,
boring.
you Scotiabank Canada better than Scotiabank Trinidad, or
No, I think they're notorious for not being good, and I purposely avoided Scotiabank when I came here because I had bad experiences. So that's why I bank with TD. TD is the only one that generally, I think, one of the big banks that doesn't operate in Trinidad. So you have RBC, Scotiabank operate in Trinidad. Then you have TD and BMO. BMO is Montreal.
BMO is
So
BMO is the parent company for B Mobile.
nope. Well, yeah, if you say so, then it's a good reason to avoid for me to avoid BMO then.
Matt quiet on this investing by
So
Matt is
I don't
Matt
invest.
Matt investment is so Matt could compare the banks in Trinidad and
Okay.
and how people save money in Trinidad. I feel like a lot of cash involved and maybe
Matt
mattress.
You had a mattress, you put in a
Matt
10 pound,
Matt
you lost that.
what proportion Matt, what proportion of your net worth under the mattress compared to the bank, right?
Can't trust the bank.
In it on any mattress, because
Hey, don't say that, Matt. They'll come for you. So don't
Bye
don't
bye
mention
bye.
and don't
it's my
mention where
actual.
your investments are.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like
yeah.
generally, well, the investment, maybe the moral investment techniques that people use.
A lot of it, a lot of people, like I say, they get, like I say, $100 go into the bank account every month. Probably about $80 is come out in cash, and
Okay.
either use or just keep. And
So moral, the cash economy.
yeah, and
So what's the biggest bank in Mamaral?
probably like a sou-sou or something, I think.
So
So
explain what a sou-sou, Matt. This is
so
good.
so so only know about the drug sou-sou, right? The
No.
Oh
DSS.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
hear about
I
it, yeah.
You know what? That's not that far from here. Like if
okay.
I could theoretically walk to
Okay, Matt.
where that was.
You don't want to get a hit put on you, right? But
No. I explain what
explain.
sou-sou is.
Right. So in
So
general, what a sou-sou is. Yeah.
the three are we here, right? We not sou-sou now. We three are people in sou-sou. Every month we have to give up, let's say, 100, let's say $1,000, right? To the sou-sou. Two earlier will put about $1,000, and I will take the first hand, as they say. I will have in theory $2,000 extra dollars cash to use for whatever I want. No, and only down $1,000
Mm-hmm.
in this month. Then next month I will put up $1,000. JonT will put up $1,000, and Shazard will get that extra $2,000 in he hands
Mm-hmm.
for that month. And then JonT in the third month I will lose 1,000.
Right.
I will pay 1,000. Shazard will pay 1,000. And JonT will get that $2,000 to use for his purposes in that month. It's something developed over in the 1900s, maybe even before that, because to help cash flow in a cash heavy society. So if you wanted money now, you could use it now.
Okay.
Because credit wasn't a big deal, wasn't a significant portion of people's ability to access credit,
So we could
It was
cuss in this segment then.
theoretically.
Cuss anytime if you want. Okay, we can continue now. Yeah.
So
I mean that's
how as Susu good for cash flow, but it's
yeah.
not good for actually growing your capital
No,
because
not we don't go capital at all. In fact, you might theoretically the person who had the first hand have an advantage, right?
because
And
they
the
could
person who
get
had
because
the
of
loans.
last hand,
inflation.
yeah. But and theoretically, a social could have three people is too small, right? Yeah, a normal social might have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 people, and you have
Okay.
two or three people take a hand every month, so on. So
Fortnite.
yeah, that kind of thing. But it's more like if you want to make a big purchase, you can plan your when to make a big purchase,
Okay.
depending on when you get your hand, that's it.
Yeah, but that's trust-based because somebody
Yeah,
could just take all the money and just never put
yeah,
back, right?
yeah. That way that somebody had to be in charge, and
Okay.
yet only them could let people into the susu, and it's like on them guarantee now. And I guarantee this person that I bring into the susu
Hmm.
will not only provide the money, but also, keep good faith with the rest of the susu.
So
Okay.
you or I don't know anybody, none of my family ever joined Susu. You or your family ever join a Susu?
I
No,
believe
I
my
haven't.
grandfather
That is a
So what other
reincarnation.
investments it have in Memorial?
and mama, people will generally take a higher purchase, right? That's the investment, right? You need like a
Was
loan.
that?
People people in mama will always buy on higher purchase, never cash. It's not investment, but that's how it is finance the operations.
Oh.
I forget what higher purchase is.
Higher purchase is when you put down payment and then you pay a monthly sum until you pay three times the amount of cash price.
What was the
So two or
interest
three
rate
times.
on that?
Yeah. But I know people will mama will just put the money in the bank. But usually you will take out the pay in cash form and keep it or
Hey,
use it.
have you ever heard, either of
Lotto.
you, about payday loans?
Yeah, we do. It have a whole bacchanal here about people getting sucked into payday loans because the amount of interest you pay on them is ridiculous. So the interest just keeps piling up because you
Hmm.
obviously if you need a payday loan, you're short on cash and then you could never repay the
The
cash, so
interest,
the
yeah.
interest just keep going up and up and up and up, and then you just get sucked into debt.
Yeah.
So it's not it should be something that probably I know regulated more closely, but I don't know. No?
Yeah, because how it works is that I guess you go on any day and you ask for money in advance, cash in advance, and the interest rate is just very high. So to pay that back is probably difficult to impossible for some people, but it's something that a lot of people do, and I'm just curious about why some people would do it and get stuck in that because they can't get out.
I
But
think
So so
financial literacy is something that under taught in education system.
yes, that's true.
so what percentage of people in Mamoral you think have a credit card, Matt?
Almost none. I even have a credit card.
Oh,
Probably 5%. I would say.
okay, okay.
And what percentage of people in Toronto you think have a credit card, Chaz?
Probably 100 because everybody would pay with tap to pay now from your phone.
But you could do that with a debit card, though. You don't need a credit to do that.
Well, if they don't qualify for credit cards, maybe some people won't have it, but everywhere I go, I see people paying with credit cards. Very
The,
rare
the,
you'll see
the
So
cash.
eligible population probably all have a credit card.
Yeah, close to 100% of the eligible population, I would say.
so do you think Toronto is close to becoming a cashless society?
I think that Canada wanted to do it, but it could become problematic because what happened not so long ago is that, so one of the a big weakness that Canada has is that we only have a few telecoms companies, right? One of the big companies, which is this building right outside here, is Rogers, and
What a
they,
name.
yeah, and it's owned by the Rogers family, right? So it's a
Eh,
anyway, so they supply internet to a lot of the banks, and what happened one time is that Rogers went down, and a lot of places could not accept payments for any purchases. And so businesses had to shut down and they had to kind of switch to cash. And so it's a good fallback to have that cash option, right? But it goes to show that if you go cashless, things could collapse. So
So,
hopefully
Charity,
we wouldn't go purely cashless.
Did you mention cashless because of Trinidad news?
Trying to mention that.
No, I don't know what happened in Trinidad
So,
News.
the Prime Minister of Trinidad mentioned that he would like to move Trinidad towards a cashless society,
Well, I
which is
mean
ambitious.
that I mean is ambitious, but is obviously uh you can't is obviously to prevent money laundering and
Yeah,
the
or
massive illegal drug trade that ruining parts of Trinidad, that would prevent that, because obviously you can't trade drugs with the people can't pull out the American Express and say, let me buy a 5-piece day.
Well, they
mean,
could
they've already
switch to
figured,
things like crypto, right?
they
That
could
was
probably
one of the
figure it
reasons.
out.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
saying,
but Matt was saying crypto is already kind of locked down in Trinidad, so they wouldn't
Yeah, but
allow
you can't really
people
stop it.
to use.
yeah, it could still happen, right?
You can
On
still have it.
Clubhouse.
You can't stop it.
Especially if
Unless
it's the illegal, avenues that people take. So people who gonna break the law anyway will probably use the crypto, and if they could have value in that, they'll just work.
they just seem a bit far-fetched right now. You would have to make sure everybody in Trinidad have good working internet at all
And
times.
phones. You know
And
What
what?
about running
It
water
actually,
by?
and
yeah,
water and
they
current
should
and that kind
probably
of.
get some running water first,
I do have
and
water
and electricity.
most days. So to everybody all day, I don't get water like 12 hours a week.
Yeah, that's insane. But because of the size of Trinidad, I know they had talk about plans about having internet across Trinidad, and it sounded impossible, but because Trinidad actually so small,
It's possible.
then yeah,
Yeah.
theoretically it's possible.
Yeah.
So maybe sometime in the distant future of
Nah,
a couple
2030s maybe,
generations.
but
Huh?
2030s it's a bit early. 2030s is a wash.
Yeah, but I mean like cashless. Cashless
I
maybe.
mean, they're all I'm saying. 2030s is a long time. Think about how wayward the Northeast was. 2010.
The who?
The Northeast, how do you call it? 2001
2010s?
to, yeah, to 2010. No, 2000 to 2020 to 2010.
The
Like,
noughties?
the Northeast, how do you call it?
Okay.
I'm
I just
telling you,
call it
that's
the
a real term.
2000s.
All right, let we do a comparison of the three countries. So let me just say on average. So in my wallet right now, I probably have £40 of cash,
You, you, you,
40 pounds sterling.
you want
What
to
about
get me
you,
killed
Shaz? How
out?
much you have in your wallet,
I
cash right
probably
now,
have like 100 and something dollars.
Canadian?
Yeah.
And Matt,
I can't say. I'll get
Matt,
murdered.
Matt, you see,
Like, yeah, Matt can't say, understandably. Makes sense, and let's not get the man dead.
boy.
Next question. Does it? That's the entire comparison?
All is that water all the time, basically.
The only time
I
I
don't.
ever not had water was when they had plumbing work to do, and they had to shut down for like a couple hours to do the plumbing work.
Oh, I've never not had water.
And what's the water rate? Like, how
Um,
much is paid?
mine is included in rent, so I don't pay anything.
No, mine nothing. I roughly pay. I mean, some places have water meters. I don't think I have a water meter, but I pay roughly like £30. It's either somewhere between 30 and £50 a month for water. But it's unlimited running water, high pressure water. So
Drinkable.
So
pay for what you get.
in Trinidad is about $30 a month. TT.
300.
$30 a month.
So about the
TT.
same as what I pay in then.
No,
TT.
TT.
300
30. 30.
or 30.
Yeah, but
Okay,
yeah, but that's $30 for no water for Matt, right?
for no water.
I get like a day. I get like 12 to 18 hours a week. Yeah.
Okay. No exaggeration with this, right? This is
And
literal.
not really. I don't
Let's
drink it.
let's
I can't
the
drink
the
it.
the the thing about the cutoff, eh?
Oh no, how much time we have?
And less than a
Can't tell.
minute.
Less than 1 minute.
We
All
can't
right,
tell how much.
let's wrap up. Thanks to my guests, Matt and JonT, for sharing the investment advice.
I mean,
Thank
I
you,
was,
NFT Shaz.
I
NFT
was just,
Shaz.
I was just here.
Or is it crypto Shaz? Crypto Shaz or NFT Shaz?
Neither. Stonks. Stonks Shaz.
Stop.
Stonks. Stonks Shaz.
Yeah.
You have to go
All right.
bonds or
Let's just bonds. Only we can talk about bonds, but no bonds.
bonds boring. I know to talk about. Ones have no
One's
risk.
Unless
a
it's
GIC
unless
kind
it's
of
James
interested.
Bond.